Hey, nerdy sports fan here, and we're wrapping up the identifying draft and free agent needs for teams, and we're getting into the AFC North. Now, Combine's going on right now, so everybody's focused on the draft, but it's not that smart right now. The only thing you should be paying attention to, really, is measurables and what teams interviewed what players. That's always a very helpful indicator. Health reports, medical reports. All of these guys are looking to be at peak, around their pro day. That's what they're really going out there for. Everybody puts their best performance forward at their pro day because it's their last chance to put something on the books. So Laviska Shenault definitely didn't help his standing, but most of these guys are doing just fine. They didn't kill themselves. That's what you're worried about, okay? Shenault's going down. Trust me. The rest of them are probably going to be okay. So with the Steelers, we're focused on draft because, damn, if they just have no money, they've got $8 million in cap space. That is nothing in the NFL. You're going to spend 5 of that on your draft choices. So $3 million? Yeah. You're going to have to get somebody to restructure their deal. Roethlisberger. Or assume this is just really your last chance. Honestly. Roethlisberger is the secret sauce at this point to get you over the hump. Mason Rudolph might end up being a adequate replacement, but not the kind of guy that's going to get you to the playoffs, get you deep in the playoffs at this point, and really already having like the scandalous kind of stuff with getting smashed over the head with his own helmet. It might not be there. Okay, Mason Rudolph, you're going to have to identify the replacement of Big Ben. That is the number one thing that you need to do this offseason. Not necessarily draft his replacement, just commit. Okay? Identify whether or not Mason Rudolph is your guy, or you just need to pick somebody up, either this draft or next draft. And set up your offseason accordingly. Okay? So, if it's next year's draft, your focus can be on win now. So, 1-year deals, 1 year with a team option for 2, that sort of thing is really what you want to stack the deck with. So, aging veterans are great, but you don't have the money. Okay? So, you need to draft for need. So you don't draft for need without moving your position. I want to be clear on that. Okay? You have to trade up or down to where you think that person actually belongs. That way you make sure that you have all the capital necessary. Do not sell your future. Okay? What you want to do is, if you're going to trade up, it has to be with this year's draft picks, largely. Or if you're going to use next year's draft picks, really low ones. You do not want to ransom your future. So you need to draft for now, but you have to do it with the capital you currently have. So I'm picturing the best strategy for the Steelers would be to trade up in the second and third round. Just get as many high as heck level guys as you possibly can, because your offensive line is stout. Your defensive line is stout. The team's built for now. Right now. Maybe a linebacker. I could roll the linebacker. You got Minkah Fitzpatrick in the back end. There's still not a Shazier replacement. I'm sorry, the linebacking core is not at that tier. So you can get there. All right? This is Pittsburgh, for Christ's sakes. You need a dynamite linebacking core. That everybody who lines up at that position has to be an absolute animal. And they don't have that right now. Okay? Whoever it is needs to be something special. So I'm very, very glad that they drafted linebacker last season. Traded up with Denver for it. You need to do something similar. Okay? You need more. You need to have that attacking linebacking core. And I think this is the draft that you address that in. You're laying foundation and you're putting in a win now sort of mentality. Yes, TJ Watt, aggressive as all hell. Love it. Add more, all right? There's never an excuse to not add more pass rush, more attack style, just nail the freaking running back in the backfield kind of players, okay? Really athletic, very smart players that know how to stay in their rush lanes. It's so important. And with your last season, likely with Ben Roethlisberger, you're going to need to carry him, okay? He is going to put you in the position. He's going to not make the mistakes that a young quarterback like Mason Rudolph will make, but you cannot assume he's the guy that has to win the game. You can't, okay? If you're going to maximize Big Ben, you need to do so by surrounding him with as much talent as possible right now. You just don't want to sell your future while you do it, because you really can only guarantee Ben is going to be back this year. Again, the foundation's there, though. I want skill position players. I want linebackers. Okay? I want, if you got a receiver that you are just crazy about, this is the draft for it. Okay? This is the draft for that. Laviska Shenault is going to be plummeting down draft boards. I already mentioned it. So, can you finagle multiple draft picks in the top rounds? Can you finagle trading up to that, like, multiple ones kind of spot? That would be the best. The absolute best situation. You can address a linebacker. You can address a receiver. But that's a lot of draft capital. So that might be your whole damn draft if you do that. You can trade back and line up with him as your first round pick. Go after linebacker in the second or third rounds. Yes, you can get a linebacker that far down. All right? They're the running back of the defensive position. They're relatively disrespected for what they can do as an immediate impact. So you get Darius Leonards in the second round all the time. So I'm not saying disrespect it by drafting it, second or third yourself. Just know what other teams are doing and how you can take advantage of that. This is something that the Steelers did for decades. Okay? Learn how to draft. And the way you draft is gaming it. Okay? Back when they could game it in a way that they just didn't pass the video material around. That's how they got Hall of Fame wide receivers, just not letting other teams get the highlight reel of certain players. So, yeah. Game the damn draft. Get your linebacker in the second or third. A good rush-minded linebacker. Get another receiver in here, okay? Get something to help Juju out. So, everybody loves Juju. He has not been the guy yet with Ben. He gets a pass for last season. He was fantastic, okay? He was very, very good. But he was not the absolute beat anybody down the field motherfucker that he needed to be. A lot of that's quarterback. A lot of it. A lot of it's people not having respect for what's on the other side of the field. So the skewed coverage towards you really can fuck with a guy's workload, fuck with a guy's amount of targets that are even catchable balls. So yeah, he's getting that treatment now. Any relief you can give him on the opposite side would be fantastic. Having somebody who can run routes and do multiple things on the field to have a lot of plays for them. Again, that's why I like Shenault. All right, he's going down draft boards right now, so he will be readily available. Make sure you're in position for it. Tell me what you guys think. Okay? I want to know from the Steelers faithful, do you think they really have a chance to go deep in the playoffs with the kind of money they have right now? How do you think they need to go about doing that? Do you think Mason Rudolph could be the answer? I obviously don't, but I want to know. Hit me up in the comments. We'll keep the conversation going, okay? We got a lot of things coming up for free agency. We got a lot of things coming up for the NFL draft. Obviously, we're in the middle of the combine, so a lot of news is coming out now. But don't pay attention to all of it. Most of these NFL evaluators are film guys, okay? Yes, there are going to be people that are just physical freaking freaks at the combine that everybody's gushing about. But all of these coaches, all of these GMs are going to be watching game film, because most of these guys are going to work out differently than they actually act when they have pads on. You need to see how they accept contact. Do they shy away from it? Do they deliver the blow? Do they use proper technique at the point of contact? Can they create separation without committing penalties? Those sorts of things you cannot get out of these workouts at the combine. And they are football fundamentals that need a higher focus. Technique is getting lost in the professional ranks for coaching. Think about this for a moment. A students are generally bad at teaching C students. They know what to do. A lot of these people innately have figured out what to do in their game. And then they end up in coaching. And yeah, they can't teach people how to do those fantastic techniques. That's why coaches a lot of times end up never really having been high-level players, or being players that were like bench players, backup quarterbacks, backup receivers, special teams players. Those guys go into coaching all the damn time. The guys that were extremely, extremely good don't. Now we're looking at the draft. You got to find out why. Are you looking at a guy who needs to be taught? Or are you looking at a guy who just kind of innately gets it? What's your coaching staff developed for? Is your coaching staff the kind that can teach people from the basics? Or is your coaching staff the kind that needs to have somebody who already knows what they're doing and then just kind of whips them into shape on the edges? I personally think the Steelers are capable of actually teaching these players what they need them to do. So technique should not be an issue. You're looking for athletes. Tell me what you think, though, guys. Hit me up in the comments. Check out my other videos. I make something like this for every single team. And we got 12 going up today. And then we're getting into free agency. So a couple weeks down the road, we'll do all of the free agency videos. I'm going to try and do something live the first day of free agency. Whether it's right when free agency opens remains to be seen at this point. I've got to check scheduling. But the day of the opening bell of free agency, I absolutely will come on here for a live as the news is coming in. So hit me up there. Thanks for watching, guys.